Sorry for being late, but it's been a lot. I'm pushing myself. I'm trying to be consistent. Okay, we're gonna be consistent. Okay, so today we're gonna discuss part two of yesterday. Okay, however, we're gonna have some new things. Okay, yes, and before we start, I have to read the disclaimer. Fair use, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by a copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Now, today we're going to discuss. Hello, Joshua. Won't he do it? Thank you, Joshua, for coming in. Let me pin you, Joshua. Let me pin you. Hello, Joshua. Thank you for coming in, Joshua. Now, okay, today we're going to discuss part two of what we talked about yesterday. And Joshua says, hi, Politic. You're great. Joshua says, I'm great. And today we're going to discuss, hey, Joshua. Oh, gosh. Let me be calm. Thank you guys for coming in. I apologize for being late. I might have to do 2 shows today because of my tardiness. Yes, tardiness is not good. Now, today we're going to discuss, Donald Trump's wins versus his losses, as well as part 2 to the incident that happened yesterday in regards to the School of Abundant Life Christian in Wisconsin. Junkyard says, you sound happy today. Yes, I am. I am happy today. Now, please hit that like button, guys. It would be so much of an honor that you support. Hey, Chat on Demand! I gotta clap every time I see somebody come in. Yes! Chat on Demand says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Chat on Demand. And yes, we're going to discuss Donald Trump's wins and versus his losses, as well as the update in regards to the CEO suspect, Luigi Mangione. And hello, Melinda. Melinda says, good morning, beautiful lady. Good morning, Melinda. And thank you guys for coming in. I apologize for being late, but I will see how this goes because I may have to do a part 2 to this. Well, I might have to do another live. Okay. Now, as I stated, we had a lot going on this week, ladies and gentlemen. A lot. Okay. And what happened yesterday was chaos. This particular 15-year-old lady, she did the unthinkable. We're just going to be very brief on this. She did the very unthinkable at a private Christian school in Wisconsin back on Monday. Okay. We're going to get very, brief on that. Okay. Because we don't want to go back into that life. Okay. We're having a happy time. Okay, but with this lady, her name was Natalie Rumpnow. She was 15 years old at Abundant Life Christian School on Monday. She did have participate in a mass incident that caused, not 1 but 2 people to be deleted, as they say. Okay, it was a teacher as well as a student, in addition to herself. Okay, and thank you guys for coming in. Now, in addition to that, we had 7 other people that were injured in regards to this. Okay, and amongst the 7 people, 2 students are currently still in critical condition. Okay, still in critical condition. And I want to be safe. I want to be very careful how I talk about this particular topic, but I want to be very brief at the same time. Okay. And as I stated, 2 students suffered from critical conditions after the incident, and they were taken to the hospital. Okay, and this happened on Monday, and they are still, yes, you cannot make this up, they are still in critical condition as we speak today. Also, one teacher and 3 other students were taken to the hospital for non-life-threatening issues or injuries. Okay, that's just to give a little brief update. Okay, a brief update. Now, fast forward, what has happened? What has happened? This gentleman that you see right here, he is the chief of police of Madison County, in which this incident happened back on Monday. His name is Sean Barnes. He did give another update of this incident. And I just want to just give a brief on it, okay? And come to find out, I have to correct myself because he did have a press conference that gave false information, okay? And that's going to be the first thing that I want to show. Because of the false information that he provided, he stated that there was a second grader that made the 911 call, okay? He did state there was a second grade student that made the initial 911 call. Hello, Art of War. Thank you for coming in. Art of War says, good morning, news lady. Good morning, Art of War. And now, fast forward, he had another press conference. He said that was not true. And I want to make sure I play that because when it comes down to matters such as this, we want true information here on this platform. So I want to play that first, because with him, he did say instead of it being a second grade student, it was an actual second grade teacher that made the initial 911 call. Okay, and thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Okay, so I want to play this first. This was the false information that he provided initially, but we got to understand he had how many he had 4 press conferences, okay, on Monday. So I don't want to bash him or put him down. I mean, he's trying to do what he can, okay? So here's a clip upon the initial press conference at 8:35 p.m. on Monday. Okay, he did state that there was a second grade student that made the initial 911 call, but that was not true. But I'm just going to play, okay, what he had initially said first.
10:57 a.m. A second grade student called 911 to report a shooting had occurred at school.
Now, that was not true, okay? That was not true, what he said. And as you can see, he looks tired, okay? And like I stated, you guys, this man had done not 1, not 2, but 4 press conferences, okay, initially. So I don't want to bash him, but I do have to be very, very upfront at what happened. Okay, and what we're talking about is basically in regards to the incident of the mass incident that happened at a private Christian academy. Okay, private Christian academy on Monday. And thank you guys for coming in. Now, here's an update in regards to this matter. I just want to be very brief, because I know a lot of you guys are coming in here in regards to see what has Donald Trump got into again. Okay, what has he got into? Now, when it comes down to this chief of police, I want people to understand he had a lot going on, and what he stated, that was not true. Instead, there was a second grade teacher that made initial 911 call. And hello, Narendra, thank you for coming in. Narendra says morning politic. Thank you. Now, when it comes down to this particular person, the suspect, 15-year-old Natalie Rump. Now, this lady right here, she was 15 years old. Okay, she arrived at this private Christian academy school in Wisconsin, Madison County, that is, a metropolitan area. And she did the unthinkable around before 11 a.m. on Monday morning. Okay? And I want guys to understand this. and I will show a picture of how the authorities, when all of this happened, I cannot make this up. When all of this happened, and I think he is holding a lot back. He's not saying too much, as well as the mayor of Madison County. She's not saying too much, because if you guys can see how they did this person's house, this teenager's father home, this lady, 15 years old, okay? She did a mass incident at a school, where a private school, Christian school, where she ended up taking, let's just be honest, she caused not one, not two, but three people lives, okay, to not be here anymore. And this is including herself, right? Now I want you guys to understand this. I really believe at this particular time that they are holding a lot back, because initially when I talked about this yesterday, they stated that the parents to this child, okay, they had not, quote unquote, arrested anybody, just had a long conversation with her father. Okay, I want you guys to understand it. They had a long conversation with the father, but I want to make sure I'm careful before I show it. That's why I'm going to do 2 lives, because if you guys would have seen the house, I repeat, hello OG Brand, thank you for coming in. If you guys would have seen how the SWAT team, I cannot make up. If you guys would have seen how the SWAT team came into this girl's father's house, okay, on Monday, it was so bad. I'm not being funny when I say this. It was so bad. I am scared to even show it on this live. That's why I'm going to do a second live. It was that bad, okay? So bad to the point where they actually broke the door, tore the whole door down, broke the windows out of this house, right? It was horrendous, okay? All because because of what happened at this private Christian school Monday by this 15-year-old, okay? They messed up her parents' home really bad. It was bad. I don't even think the father is still living in that house. It is just that bad. I'm not even being funny. And I'm wondering, and this is why I said, I don't think they're telling everything, because during the press conference yesterday, okay, they had a press conference. During the press conference yesterday, they didn't say too much, but one reporter did ask a very serious question, right? If the parents are quote unquote not investigated, then why did the authorities come to his home like that? Okay, so this is what I want people to understand: how they damage this 15-year-old girl's parents' home because of her actions at a private Christian school on Monday. If you guys could see the damage of that house, it is horrible. All right, and thank you guys for coming in. I'm going to play a clip of the mayor of Madison County in a minute, but I'm going to give a breakdown of some updates of what has happened, okay, recently as of yesterday with the press conference, okay, that was given. Now, come to find out from my research with this particular lady that we're talking about, okay, this particular 15-year-old lady that did what she did, she was the alleged only child, okay, and she did come from 2 parents, but it wasn't from a 2-parent household. Narendra says the parents are responsible for this, no doubt about it. And this is why I'm trying to be very careful, because I do not want any smoke, okay? Because I'm gonna try to see if I can find it for you guys, the actual picture of the house, but I want to be very careful because it was just a lot. Now, according to my research, when I looked it up, this 15-year-old girl, both of her parents, okay, they were divorced, okay, and she was the only child, okay. And as I'm talking to you guys, I'm not making this up. I am actually trying to look up the actual house because it was horrible. I mean, just whoo. Hello, Easy Peasy. Thank you guys for coming in. And Easy Peasy says, how are you political? I am phenomenally great. Phenomenally great. And I want to try to be brief on this because I know a lot of people have came in here to actually talk about, Trump's wins and losses. Okay, and I want to show the house. Okay, I want to show just how they ramshacked this house. It was just horrible what they did. And I really believe the parents, okay, they're not saying nothing just yet, and I'm going to be very careful, allegedly, but I really believe they are going to, and I'm trying to find it for you guys, they are going to actually, I think I found it for you guys. I think I found how horrible this house is. It is not even livable at this point. And I'm not even being funny. Not even being funny. This is just a clip. It is so bad. And this is fair use, fair use. I want to be able to show it to you guys. And thank you guys for coming in. This is how the house looks now, okay? It is not livable, okay? This man, the father of this, the owner of this house, he cannot live inside of this house, okay? Why? Because according to reports, the SWAT team actually had to come and they just ramshacked this house so bad. So bad. And good morning, Narendra. Now I'm going to talk about some updates in regards to the lady that I'm discussing. Okay. According to reports, she is the only child. Okay. She comes from two parents. The parents, they divorced not once, but twice. Once in 2014 and again in 2021. So this is already giving you guys a red flag, right? Think about it. She's the only child. She's already coming from a household where both parents do not live in the home, for one, okay? And then not only do both parents not live in the home for once, okay? They tried it. They tried to work it out. They ended up going through a divorce not once but twice. Okay, so that's a lot. I think people have to understand, right? When you are the only child, right? It's not like when you have siblings. Okay, and when you're the only child, now you're going from home to home. So in her case, this lady that we're talking about, Natalie Rump, now she was given, okay, primarily to her father placement in the home that I just showed you guys, right, back in 2022. Okay, this was a year after her parents ended up getting a second divorce in 2021. Just think about all of this coming together. Now, these are just the reports. Now, initially, this lady that we're talking about, Miss Natalie Rump now, okay, she attended public school. That was another issue they was speaking on about this, right? People were speculating maybe a private, quote unquote, private Christian academy would not have been the place for her. Why? Because remember what I said yesterday, and he didn't want to speak on it. The chief of police of Madison County, Sean Barnes, he didn't want to speak on it. But there were reports in questioning the suspects, quote unquote, whether or not she was biologically a female, right? And why am I putting all this together? Because now people are reporting that perhaps she had been bullied because of those allegations. One of the reasons that she had quote unquote snapped. Now, in regards to this particular press conference that was done yesterday, they did speak on this, right? And all he would say, as well as the other officials that had the press conference yesterday, all they could say was that they were talking to students in regards to whether or not Miss Natalie Rumpnow, okay, if she had been bullied, what were their interactions with her, and what did they notice. And in addition to that, this is why I really feel it is more to the story than they are telling. Why? Because I want people to understand this. Because when it's all said and done, they, on the day it happened, the SWAT team came to her father's house where she had stayed. They came to her father's house. They ramshacked the house so bad, it doesn't even look like it's livable right now. Okay? It doesn't even look like it's livable. And in addition to this, I want people to understand this. Even at the press conference yesterday, and thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. I want to stroll down. They stated, if this is what they said, anyone that knows the suspect, okay, just think about it for a minute. And the suspect they were talking about is that 15-year-old that committed that horrific crime, this 15-year-old, okay? And hello, Patriot, thank you for coming in. Thank you so much. I'll get back to the comments. Thank you so much, you guys. Now, he stated, if anybody knows, okay, or knew of this 15-year-old teenager, to call Madison Crime Stoppers. Okay, and I have the number. I'm not going to say it loud, but this is the number that he spoke about in the specific press conference. Okay, now why are they still wanting to reach out to us, the public, is my question. Why are they still wanting to reach out, right? Because from what my findings were, right, they already have the records. When I say the records, the quote unquote school records, okay, when it comes down to this particular school in which this incident happened, a private Christian school in Madison, Wisconsin. Okay, so why would they want any more information if they already have the records from the public schools that she had went to? Because they did speak on that. Okay, and Northern Dame says for more info, I think about her. And see, this is why I'm trying to figure out what is the missing piece to this, right? Because it's something that's not adding up. It's something that's not adding up. Why do I say that? Because and I want people to understand this, if the father is not being held, quote unquote, responsible for anything, or the mother at all, if they're not being held responsible for anything, why would they have ramshacked what they did? And Jermaine says, Crime Stoppers, didn't the crime happen? Exactly. Let me highlight that. Thank you, Jermaine. Thank you, Jermaine. Because this is why I'm trying to understand, right? Why would you do another quote unquote press conference? Why would you hold another press conference yesterday? Why? It doesn't add up. Because Jermaine said it best. Why? Because the crime was already committed, ladies and gentlemen. She had already done what she did. And to top it all off with this lady that we're talking about, this 15-year-old teenager, okay, to top it all off, I'm gonna be honest. They were already upon the officers arriving on the scene. Okay, they had already found her. Okay, she was already found. Okay, And then to top it all off, they had already found the actual device that was used to the crime. They found all this on the scene back on Monday. It makes no sense. And hello, Nina. Nina says maybe they are trying to figure out a motive. Nina, Nina, can I? Thank you so much, Nina. Thank you so much, Nina. I'm going to have to pin that because I'm trying, it's just not adding up. And I really believe if this father, her father, if her father did all that he could do, and there were reports, okay, if her father did all he could do, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to put it out there, I feel her father needs to, quote unquote, perhaps, okay, in my opinion, her father needs to file a lawsuit at how they ramshacked his home because he has legal documents stating, and we're going to break it down, okay, in regards to they did have her get treatment as far as getting therapy, okay, and Patriot says, oh, it adds up to the corruption of the school system and the immorality of the far left. And see, see, you see where I'm going with this. Now you see where I'm going with this because I spoke about it yesterday, right? Just how, messed up this system can be. And when I say this system, it just seems a little odd. And it got so bad at this press conference that was held yesterday. I just want you guys to understand this. It got so bad yesterday. The mayor of Madison County, she had to step in, okay, and let all the reporters know and everyone know. Okay, I'm just going to play a clip. She had an attitude, to be honest. She had an attitude, okay? But my whole thing is this. Why are you getting an attitude with the media? Why are you getting an attitude? Why? Because at the end of the day, if anybody should, for one, have an attitude, it should be this person's father for the people coming to his house, damaging his house, where it is not even livable in my opinion. Okay? And hello, you guys. Thank you for coming in. Sing says it's 100% a left issue. Jay, thank you for coming in. Jay says everyone complains about the school system until they close the schools. Sing says the I can't say that word, TRANS manifesto still haven't been released. Why? And Sing, that is, I have seen it, but they spoke about that too. They spoke about it because he gave specific instructions, and this is what's making me wonder. This is just not adding up. Why? I'm gonna show you what he said now. Okay, he gave quote unquote instructions. Okay, quote unquote instructions for everyone not to show that manifesto. Okay, why? Because according to them, it has not been verified. So I'm gonna highlight it. That's what he said now. He said this yesterday. He's still saying it. The document of the manifesto by the suspect, the 15-year-old girl that we're speaking about, they're saying is still unverified and request the document not to be spread. And this is the main reason I am scared to death to even I'm scared. I'm scared to even show the document. I don't want to show. I'm not going to show it because I don't want the authorities to come my way. I don't. Because look what they said also in the press conference, ladies and gentlemen. They stated they still want to hear from us. They want to hear from us. They said, please call Madison Crime Stoppers. And they left a phone number. Why? Why are you doing this? I don't know. And Singh says it's a liberal issue. And see, this is what I'm trying to figure out. And I'm just like, why can't you disclose the information, right? Because you guys said it best in the chat. Why do you need the Crime Stoppers if the crime is already been committed? Nina says, why do y'all make everything trivial? Left versus right. And see, this is why, Nina, I appreciate you coming in. I absolutely agree that maybe they're trying to figure out a motive, right? Because it's like, it's just not making any sense. And my whole thing is, okay, it's just the fact that they're doing these press conferences, right? And remember what I said. They rushed the press conference on Monday so fast, okay? Because remember what I stated. They had not one, not two, not three, but 4 press conferences back on Monday, okay? And I will show you the timestamp, okay? Now, with this particular timestamp I'm showing you guys, it says right here, the press conferences, they were held at 12:15, 12:30, 5:30, and 8:30 p.m. Now, with this 12:15 one, okay, the officers had already came to the scene at 11 a.m. So they had, a little bit of an hour, and the next thing you know, they're doing a press conference. And that's what I'm saying. It was just rushed. And now they're trying to piggyback. They're going back, and now they're trying to reach back out to the media and to the public and say, if you have any information, reach back out to the quote unquote Crime Stoppers. It's just not making any sense, right? And I will say this, okay? If I were this lady's father, I'm just going to be honest, and you guys can let me know if you concur or not. I'm going to be honest. If I was this lady's father, because she was the only child, right? She was the only child. This lady right here we're talking about. She was the only child. I would personally lawyer up right now if I were him. And as well as the mother, I would lawyer up so fast, because the way they did it, and I will talk about it in the next slide. I'm gonna, it's just a lot, because the way they did his home, it was just this. It was just not. It was not heard of, and it was not even meant for. It wasn't, because in the state that I live in Georgia, there was another incident. I spoke about it right yesterday in regards to a 14-year-old that did something similar to this 15-year-old, what she did on Monday. Okay, they did not damage his father's house. Okay, they did not damage his father's house. But the thing is, why did you damage this lady's father's house? And I say this, I'm standing on this when I say this, right? This father, her father, has documentation showing that she was receiving therapy, okay? They did not want to disclose what type of therapy she was getting treated for, right? But he has a lot of information to cover himself, to actually cover himself. And this is why I say, if I were him, I would file a lawsuit at this point, because nobody's parent. And much shout out to anybody that's a parent, be it if you are a single parent, be it if you are a married, parents in the same household. I give much praise and respect to you guys, right? Because it's not easy raising a child. It's not easy. And I will say this, you have to raise. And people have to understand this. When you have a child, you are that parent for life till infinity. It is not when they're just a baby. It is not when they're just a child. It is you can still be in that child's life. Even when they're adults, right? And hello, Liz. Thank you guys for coming in. And I want people to understand this, right? Nobody's perfect, right? Nobody's perfect. And this is why I'm standing on this. This teenager's father, he needs to lawyer up so quick, okay? So quick. Because if they even think about trying to file charges on him, I personally, from what I looked at, I don't think it is fathomable. I don't think it's at this point it is not right. It's not right. Okay? That is my personal opinion based off of what I actually saw personally. Okay? How they did this man's house. It's not right. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. We're having a conversation, a respectful conversation, and like Nina said, it has to be they're probably trying to find a quote unquote motive, a quote unquote motive. Because why would you guys try to reach back out to the public and to the media and tell them, quote unquote, we are looking for, I just want to be honest, we need any more information if you knew the suspect. The crime has already been solved. What? It's already been I don't understand what's the problem? What is the problem? And at this particular time, I want to actually show, okay, what was discussed a little bit more in regards to the quote unquote second day of them having another press conference. This was a fifth press conference yesterday, right? Now, I will say this, I do not condone any form of bullying. And when I say bullying, now that is the response to the public, what they're doing, because they did speak about what is going on after on the forefront. Why? Because according to what was discussed yesterday at the press conference, people have been prank calling. Yes, prank calling the Madison County law enforcement. Prank calling. Okay, falsifying false information saying that incidents are going on and it's not going on at different quote unquote public schools in Madison County. Right? And they had to make sure they informed everybody. When you make those prank calls, that's what you call swatting. When you make those quote unquote prank calls, that is a quote unquote crime, and you will be held accountable. So now, not only are they still investigating this 15-year-old girl, okay, they're now investigating all of these people that are making prank calls to the law enforcement. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Okay? And thank you guys for coming in. And I appreciate you guys for coming in so much. Please hit that like button. Thank you guys for coming in so much. And thank you, Liz, for handling the business in the mod squad. Now, when it comes down to, gonna go back because I wanted to show you right here in Georgia of a gentleman by the name of Colt Gray and his father Colin Gray. Okay, Colin Gray is now being charged for his son's actions due to the quote unquote negligence. Okay, negligence, right, of providing an actual device to his son on Christmas of last year. Okay? And what did that cost? That cost Colin Gray's son, Colt Gray, to actually go to Appalachian High School here in Georgia, okay, and commit a crime where it took not one, not two, but three, but 4 people end up passing away because of a 14-year-old by the name of Colt Gray. Now, why am I putting this with what happened on Monday in Wisconsin? Because just like I stated, they did not damage Colt Gray's father's home. They didn't. They didn't damage it at all. But what did they do? And thank you guys for coming in. What did they end up doing? They ended up, quote unquote, damaging. And thank you guys for coming in. They end up, quote unquote, damaging this person's father's home. Okay? I want people to understand that. Now, I'm going to play a clip of just how upset the mayor The mayor is, because of all of this that has happened on the back end, right? Now, okay, remember when I discussed about the victims of this mass incident that happened in Wisconsin back on Monday, where two students, even now in the presence, they're still in critical condition, and one student and a teacher ended up passing away at the scene of the crime at the private academy. Okay, and in addition to that, this particular suspect who did all of this, the teenager herself, Miss Natalie Brumpnow, she was found, okay, she was found, not, she was found unalived, as well as, okay, the police also found a 9mm on the scene, not that far from her. Okay, so all of this is showing that, okay, we already know who did it, and then they even speculated all of this, right? In addition to that, you had one teacher, 3 other students taken to the hospital on Monday, okay, and then 2 others were taken to the hospital on Monday, and they were released. So they got all of this information, right? All of this information. But look what we have coming on the forefront now as of yesterday. Now they had to hold a 5th press conference. 5th. Okay? Now, I'm going to read based off of what was discussed at this press conference yesterday. Okay? Now, according to the reports, her parents, notice what I said, her parents with an S, they had good co-parenting relationship. Okay? Good co-parenting relationship. So much to the point where they have documentation. And these documents, okay, this gentleman didn't want to speak on at the press conference. Didn't want to speak on that. He did it. And here was their excuse, their reason. I'm sorry, not excuse, their reasoning for it. And thank you guys. Please hit the like button. Thank you guys for coming in. Their reason for it was, okay, it is at the school's discretion. It is at the school's discretion. So the private school that she attended, where she ended up having this mass event back on Monday, it's at their discretion if they're going to release, okay, whether or not she had problems at this school, right? It is also at Madison County Public Schools' discretion if she had issues when she went to elementary and middle school in public. Okay? So, people, when I tell you the reporters at this last press conference, they were furious. Very furious. Okay? Because they basically came to this press conference yesterday and they didn't get anything. Right? They were told, okay, all patients, I want you guys to see it. They said all patient status have not been changed. Okay. 2 of the students are still in critical condition. Then they say 911 record calls that were made, okay, in regards to this incident, they will not be made publicly. What is going on? So that won't be made publicly until, notice what they said. I'm going to highlight it. Until investigation is closed. So I'm sitting back like, what is going on? Then they stated, this is all at the press conference yesterday, disciplinary records will only be released at the discretion of the school the suspect attended. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Then they also stated the law enforcement are speaking, even in the present, they're speaking with the students. People have to understand this. The school that I'm talking about, it has only 420 students enrolled, okay, at this private Christian academy. And in addition to that, it teaches from pre-K all the way to 12th grade. Why are you talking to kids that are so young? So you're talking to second graders, you're talking to first graders, you're talking to all these little kids when you have the information. You have the information. And someone said it, I think Jermaine said it best in the actual chat. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. They said it best in the chat. The crime has already happened. So why do you need to talk to these students? For one, that's just my opinion. Why do you need to speak to these students? And they're young, okay? This is not like you're in college, okay? It's not. And Northern Dame says the whole issue is she took a device to school and yes, injured others by yes. You have to be very careful with Northern Dame. I can't look. Let me look. I understand what you're saying, Northern Dame. Narendra says, William, 100% exactly. Those were truly golden age. You had a problem. You solved it out. Yes, no, yes, please, safe words, ladies and gentlemen, because YouTube is a place that is their place, okay? And the Herbal Goddess says, hello, politic and check. And yes, hello, the Herbal Goddess. Thank you for coming in. Now, I want people to understand this. When it comes down to this press conference that they had yesterday, they really didn't even give us a lot to work with. But the only thing they want you guys to, I want to make sure you guys see this number. They said if anyone knows or knew of the suspect, please call Crime Stoppers, Madison County Crime Stoppers. Why? It makes no sense. Now, remember when I said the reporters were very upset, very upset. And as far as their findings so far that they're able to release to the public, they said based off of this teenager's actions Monday, they said everyone was a target, okay? And everyone was equal as far as quote unquote, okay, harm, as they say. Now, the response. How has the public itself responded to this, all of this, okay? Now, remember when I said swatting, okay? And I think kids just don't want to go to school. They're just trying to take advantage, right? I think, okay? And now you do have some adults, that do swatting. And what is swatting? Swatting is when someone makes false calls to law enforcement. Okay, and this is when I told you earlier, they are pranking. They're prank calling the law enforcement at Madison County, okay, in Wisconsin, the law enforcement, and they're saying things are happening at schools, falsifying information. Now, this the thing. You don't mind giving that information out. You have no problem giving that information out, right? Because this quote unquote chief of police, Sean Barnes, right? He did state this, and this, I want people to understand this, okay? I will give him this much. He did state, if you quote unquote, I'm going to read, he did state, and I quote, they are already working with the district attorneys, okay? Notice what I said, district attorneys, okay? Because they are looking, if need be, to prosecute. Why? Because swatting, prank calling, okay, that is a quote-unquote crime. And he also informed people, especially the parents, to these quote-unquote prank callers. Please, to the parents as well as the family members, please educate your children in regards to what swatting is. Because this is nothing to play with. And thank you guys for coming in. Now, in addition to that, the chief of police did say that they are working in regards to who have been making these fake reports, okay, in regards to different public schools within Madison County of Wisconsin. They're already in the works. So I just want you guys to know, whoever is doing these prank calls, you do not want to go to jail. You do not want to go to jail. It is not a place where you're going to be considered a hero. Okay? Nobody's a hero when you go to jail. That is not a safe place. That is not a safe space. So please, this is me personally informing anybody that does these prank calls. Please stop doing it. Okay. And tomorrow we're going to talk about, not only are they doing swatting, okay, these prank calls, okay, as something as so small, on a small level, local level, okay, to public schools in Wisconsin. They're even doing swatting even in the present with what's going on in the politics. When I say politics, I'm speaking of various Congress members now. Notice what I said. Congress members now, okay? As well as people that are nominated in Donald Trump's upcoming administration. They're already doing swatting still. Okay, so this is why I want teenagers and kids and anybody who's watching this live, please inform anybody. Please don't do that. We don't need any more prank calls. Please stop. Also, in regards to what's been going on, parents, let's bring it back to those parents that I do have the utmost respect for. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Now, when it comes down to the parents, how have they responded? They have responded by saying, because of the actions of this teenager, okay, of what happened Monday, they decided not to even have their children attend classes yesterday or even attend schools. Why? That's another thing I forgot to mention. Remember when I discussed the swatting that was going on? Okay. They had a number of schools yesterday locked down. Remember what I said. Because of these prank calls that were false to law enforcement yesterday, they not only had to quote unquote lock down and have a 24/7 hour watch on the private academy back on Monday night, right? Monday night. They also, when Tuesday came in, and we're not even talking about the private Christian academy of where this incident happened, when Tuesday came in, they had to lock down public schools, okay, in Madison County of Wisconsin. They had not only had to lock it down, they actually had to inform what was going on. That's just how serious this is, right? And this is why I'm standing on this when I say what I said earlier in this live. If I were this lady's father, and I hope he hears me, I would file a lawsuit right now to protect myself. Because, I mean, it's only so much that parents can do. When you're a parent, you know, it's especially when your child becomes a preteen and becomes a teenager. I'm not saying lift your hands and walk away. No, I'm not saying that. But you know, you guys know, there's only so much you can instill in your child, right? At a point. Because we just talked about what happened to that CEO suspect, Luigi, okay? We already talked about what happened to him lives before. And we're going to talk about him in a moment, but not right now. What happened to him, 26 years old, come from a very prominent family, right? But look what happened. He is looking, based off of what was said yesterday at a press conference. It was yesterday, an indictment, an official indictment in New York, okay, that he is looking at life, okay? And when I say life, based off of the charges we're going to discuss, He's looking at a minimum of 60 years. Minimum. Minimum. That's the maximum penalty. Minimum. Now, when it comes down to this press conference that was held yesterday, I'm going to play one particular part from this mayor of Madison County. She was upset, okay, at how people are now. I'm not saying everybody, but they insinuated during this press conference that people are trying to find out who were the victims of what transpired back on Monday at the Abundant Life Christian School Academy. They're trying to find out the personal information in regards to the victims, okay? And I'm just gonna play the clip what this mayor said, and you guys tell me. Because according to her, and these were her words, not mine. I'm just gonna play a clip, and you guys tell me, was she fair? Was it justified? How she addressed, okay, the media as well as the public. And thank you guys for coming in. Thank you so much for coming in. And this is the mayor of Madison County. And I'm going to play the actual clip in regards to what she spoke on. This was the actual press conference that was held yesterday. Okay? And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Also, please hit that like button and share your views in the chat. Share your views, and all views are welcome. All views are welcome, and long as you're respectful. And thank you guys for coming in. And this is fair use.
Factual as possible. All right, I'm going to say this and then we're done. It is absolutely none of y'all's business who was harmed in this incident. Please have some human decency and respect for the people who lost loved ones or were.
Now, you heard what she said. Now you guys heard what she said. She said it's none of y'all. That's how she said it. It's none of y'all business. That's what she said. Okay? Because remember what I stated earlier. A lot of people, I'm going to tell you, like, I can understand, from one aspect what she was speaking of. I can understand that. Right? Because just like I disclosed to you guys in this live to this morning, right? People have been SWAT calling, prank calling, bothering multiple public schools in Madison County of Wisconsin yesterday, right? And that caused a number of public schools to be have a lockdown, right? Parents were informed. This was chaos, right? And then in addition to that, right, the quote unquote conditions of the victims, okay, are still the same. There are 2 children still in critical condition at the hospital in Madison County, okay? They're still in critical condition. And so from that aspect, okay, I can understand why she was very just upset at how, people are just, you're coming, you're doing, in her words, like, like enough is enough, right? And thank you guys for coming in. Now, I'm going to play that part up one more time in one moment. But before I play it, okay, I'm going to go into the comments and thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel, as well as if you would like to support the channel even more, you can provide either a Ruby or a super sticker, or even become a member to the platform. This is Politic Graham. We welcome all opinions. We welcome everyone, no matter what gender, what culture, what party, political party you represent. We welcome all respectfully. Now, back into the comments. Yes, Patriot Grimm says like and subscribe. 7 Olena says, I agree, Swim. I think parents need to be held accountable to their parents' inactions for their child's behavior. And see, this is what I'm talking about. I don't understand what is the holdup, right? They are holding back a lot of things, okay? And this press conference that they had yesterday, this press conference, it was just to tell people, call the Crime Stoppers. We're talking to students. Yes, we're talking to students. Oh, as far as motive, yeah, I forgot about to mention that, the motive. And thank you guys. I want to make sure you guys can see what I'm talking about. As far as the motive, he stated, and I quote, there were a combination of factors. Okay? That's what he stated. Combination of factors. Now, when it comes down to these combination of factors, okay, they did not want to share information specifically to those factors, right? But remember what I said, okay, there have been speculations allegedly that the suspect that committed the crime that she committed back on Monday was not allegedly biologically a quote-unquote female. And this particular chief of police, Mr. Sean Barnes, he did state back on Monday, I want to make sure I'm on the same page. He did state, and I quote, he said, I don't think that whatever happened today, okay, back on Monday, he said, I don't think whatever happened today has anything to do with how, keywords, how she, he, or they may have wanted to be identified. I wish people would kind of leave their own biases out of this. We have people, okay, he was just basically saying that should not be discussed, right? But this is the thing, okay? And I'm going to be honest. I'm going to put it out there, right? You can take it how you want to take it. But I will show, okay, this is affecting, like in the law, when it comes down to the Supreme Court of Justices, when it comes down to the House of Congress, right? When it comes down to the LGBTQIA plus community, right? It does play a factor. It does. Because you have a lot of people from that community, they do feel like they are not being heard, right? That's how they feel. And I want to even throw this out there. When it comes down to Donald Trump's core values, he did state he would cut the funding. Okay? I want to make sure you guys see, because he wants to quote unquote be traditional. Be traditional when it comes down to, I'm going to read it. Number 16. Donald Trump said, cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, radical gender ideology, and other inappropriate racial or political content on our children. Okay? So for them to not talk about or speak on certain things during these press conferences, I don't get it. I really don't. Because this is playing, I'm telling you guys, I'm going to speak on it in the next live when it comes down to just how much the Supreme Court of Justice have played an impact. And my whole thing is this: what is the school system overall here in America. What are they going to do when January the 20th comes, right? What are they really going to do? Because look at what happened in regards to this incident. This gentleman, he couldn't even discuss, okay, the investigation. He couldn't even discuss. And mind you, the suspect is no longer here. She's no longer here. They have quote unquote, okay, records, okay, from Madison County Public Schools. They have records from quote unquote Abundant Life Christian Private School where she attended, okay? So it's kind of like, what are you doing? Now, and last but not least, she was the only child, right? So my whole thing is, I mean, I feel you have to be a voice. You do. You have to be a voice for people who feel like they're unheard. And that's why I started this platform, this channel, right? And I wish, people, when you are not saying enough, that's when you make things worse. That's when people start to overgeneralize. Then we have people starting to SWAT, starting to do pranks, starting to go in a whole nother realm, a whole nother outlet, right? But I feel when people need to know these things, people need to know certain things. And like I stated, with this particular press conference, it just didn't give what it needed to give. It didn't. And like I stated, how they did this lady's house, her father's house, was unjustified. And I'm going to play this clip. I'm going to review, right? We're going to move forward. We're going to move forward to the next topic, okay? To the next topic. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Yes, we are talking about, okay, this is part 2 of yesterday. And thank you for the like. Thank you for the likes. Thank you so much. Now, this is part 2 of yesterday. And yes, we're doing an update of Natalie Rumpf now. And we're going to be discussing a little bit of Donald Trump's wins versus his losses, as well as an update of the CEO suspect, Luigi, okay? Now, when it comes down to this 15-year-old, her name was Natalie Rumpf now. From my research, okay, yes, she is thank you for the likes. Thank you so much. Yes, she was the only child. Okay, she comes from parents that were divorced. They tried to work it out. But they ended up getting divorced back in 2014. Then they tried it again. They ended up getting divorced again in 2021. Upon with reports, okay, due to documents, yes, this particular 15-year-old, she did receive counseling. She did get therapy, okay? They did not want to specify, okay, what type of therapy, okay? And when I say they, as far as the media outlet, okay? Now, the father, after the divorce back in 2020-21, he did receive primary placement of Miss Natalie Rumpf now, okay, who was 15 years old. He did receive, thank you so much for the likes. Thank you so much. He did receive primary placement in 2022. Also, she initially attended Madison Public Schools. But her father, and I want to make sure I highlight this part, but her father, okay, he felt, according to a neighbor that stayed across the street from them, in a recent interview, the father felt that his daughter would be in a better place if she would be at a private school setting, okay? She would be a quote-unquote better fit. That's what the neighbor said that the father had informed him, Now, when it comes down to also in reports, her parents were good co-parents. Okay, they had a good co-parenting relationship according to Fox News station. And just like I stated, okay, Monday there was a press conference. There were 4 press conferences, but there was information that was disclosed by, okay, the chief of police, Sean Barnes. And I'm going to be honest, I don't want to bash him. I'm not going to bash him. I do appreciate that they did handle the business, okay, within less, I promise you guys, within less than 30 minutes. They did a phenomenal job, because the phone call was made at 10:57. 911 phone call was made at 10:57 a.m. Monday morning, okay? And that's when officers, they actually were dispatched. And the first deputy that came on the scene was at 11 a.m. That was within 3 minutes. 24 seconds after the deputy, that's when more officers came. Okay? And by 11:45, you had the fire department, you had the EMS, you had additional officers, and not only was the fire department come, but they were helping the EMS provide aid for the victims. So yes, they handled business. They handled business. This is all by 11:05 a.m. And mind you, the initial 911 call was at 11:56 a.m. Okay, 11:13, they're already putting something online. They made an incident report and posted it, okay, on the Madison Police Department website. 11:14, the police officers are already clearing the school out. By 11:25, they are already now having BOMB dogs, okay, enter the school and assist the officers in clearing the school out. Okay, and by 11:26, remember when I said the fire department, the EMS, and additional officers came by 11:05. By 11:26, the fire department, they began to assist in transporting patients, okay, to the hospital. So that's why I said I'm not going to bash this particular chief of police. I commend him, right? But I do have to correct, what he stated. He stated this yesterday's press conference that he had to correct himself. He had to correct himself, because on Monday at a press conference, he did state, and I quote, at 10:57 a.m., they received a phone call from a second grader, okay, who made the initial call. And come to find out, it was not a second grader that made the initial call. It was a second grade teacher. So I have to be honest. I have to put it out there, right? I have to put it out there. And thank you guys for coming in. Next thing, the document of the manifesto that has been spreading online. I'm not going to put it on. I'm not going to put it up in this live just yet. Why? Because according to what was discussed in the press conference yesterday, they did say it is still unverified and request document not to be spread. Okay, so they did request for me as well as everybody else not to spread it. Okay, and they're still looking into this particular teenager who we're talking about, Miss Natalie Rumpnow. They're still looking to see if there's any online activity that she had done prior to this to even be some type of evidence, okay, to assist them in this open investigation, right? Why? Because they want to, quote unquote, verify, for one, what is this manifesto that's going around? Is this, what's this from her? Could it be verified? And in addition, what were the motives? Because according to them, as you can see, for now, they said the motive was a combination of factors. And also at this press conference that was held yesterday, they did say they want you guys, okay, us, okay, media. They said they want you to call Madison Crime Stoppers. Yes, you cannot make this up. Call Madison Crime Stoppers. Okay, if you have any information, if you knew this, if you knew what this teenager right here, what she had done or what she was doing, what was her interactions with you, what was her interactions, anything would be helpful. That is what they said. Okay, and this is all what was discussed yesterday at the press conference. Also, the next thing that was discussed, they do not want to share information. They don't want to share any information. Okay, and they also said all patients are still in their conditions are still the same. Their status has not been changed. Okay, why? Because remember what I stated yesterday. Okay, 2 students suffered from critical conditions. Okay, so much that they had to be immediately sent to the hospital and immediately perform operations on both of these 2 students. Okay, and according to the press conference that was made by the authorities yesterday, okay, they are still in critical condition. So please, 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 let's have the utmost prayers for these 2 young students that are in critical condition. Now, like I also stated, when it comes down to the response from public, okay, people have been SWAT calling, okay, making false phone calls to 911 and law enforcement. Ridiculous. And they also stated that this is not legal. This is a crime, and they're informing parents and family members to please have that courageous conversation with their children, to inform them and educate them that SWAT calling is not something to joke about. Because of the SWAT calling, what happened yesterday, a number of public schools in Madison County had to be put on lockdown. Yes, it was that serious. And also, according to the chief of police, okay, the chief of police, Sean Barnes, he did state that they are talking to district attorneys and they are investigating to find out who made these false calls, these false prank calls. Okay, and last but not least, the parents. Okay, because of the actions that happened Monday, some parents yesterday, they just decided to have their children not attend classes, okay, altogether yesterday at any of these public schools, okay, in Madison County. They said we are just not comfortable just yet to take our children back into school. Okay, now when it comes down to the mayor, I want to play her one more time, and I'm going to read the comments. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you so much, and please hit that like button. Patriot says, so has liberal politics with trying to make kids tea at a young age. I knew we were going to talk about that. And thank you so much, guys, for coming in. Thank you so much. Angel, thank you so much. Angel says, I realize Trump well connected inside out. Cleo says, I'm wondering, they placed an article into Word. Thank you so much. Patriot says, Henry, there was no call for that. Politic is doing the best she can. And I have to pin it. Thank you so much, Patriot. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming in. Now, when it comes down to the Madison County mayor, okay, Miss Rose Conray, she did express to the media a statement, a very strong statement. I'm going to play it. And thank you guys for coming in. This is fair use. And this is the mayor, okay, of Madison County. And she wanted to have some strong words for the public as well as the media that have been trying to figure out who were the victims. And in her opinion, bother the families to the victims, okay? This was her response. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. And if you support even more, you can provide a super chat, super sticker, or membership, or Ruby.
We're done. It is absolutely none of y'all's business who was harmed in this incident. Please, factual as possible. All right, I'm going to say this and then we're done. It is absolutely none of y'all's business who was harmed in this incident. Please have some human decency and respect for the people who lost loved ones or were injured themselves or whose children were injured. Just have some human decency, folks. Leave them alone. Let them grieve. Let them recover. Let them heal. Don't feed off their pain. We'll share what we can.
Now, I commend what she said, and I like that last part that she spoke on. She said, quote unquote, and I think that can go to a lot of people when it comes down to what you go through. Even at work, you'd have people gossiping and all of this mess, right? That last line she did say, I really commend that, right? She said, let them grieve, let them recover, let them heal. Don't feed off of their pain. And you have people, they be in so much misery, they like to, feed off of other people's pain, all right? They like to, do that. And that's why I say I really commend her for stating, just let it be. Because we have to keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, okay, I want to make sure we're on the same page. We have to keep things in mind when it comes down to this particular person that started all this mess, this teenager, Natalie Rump, now 15-year-old. She did cause 2 young students to currently be in critical condition. Okay, she did. So I can respect at this particular point why the mayor of Madison said what she said, but I will be honest. I will call it for what it is. Okay? If you do not want to give any more information, please do not have any more press conferences. Okay? Please don't. It's too much else. It's too many other things going here in the real world. Come on. That could have been come on. It's just too much. It's too much going on. Too much. And thank you guys for coming in. John says, Luigi. Chauncey says, somehow, somewhere, these folks go on, I'm the victim, so that just justifies whatever my reaction is. Narendra says, this is very recent phenomenon that's happening with today's youth. I don't seem to recall any sort of these incidents happening in the 90s or even in the 2000s. Angel says, I still don't understand why schools don't have security. And I'm glad you mentioned that. Angel, because this is why people have to understand. That was discussed during the debate. That was discussed. Okay, should schools have, security? Because you do have schools nationwide. All schools do not have, quote unquote, officers, on the campus. And all schools do not have, quote unquote, surveillance cameras. So this, that has to be taken into note. Why? Because I did discuss that yesterday when it came down to this particular school, this private Christian school, right? It had no metal detectors. It also had I want to make sure, it had no security in regards to police presence. Okay? So yes, you are making a great, you're making a great statement in the chat. I have to concur. Patriot says 100% agree, Angel. William says The merger says, guys, hit the like button and subscribe. Yes, please hit that like button and subscribe. William says, there's no logic in our justice system, especially when you announce that the somebody and he's getting 5 life sentences, not 1 but 5. Well, Williams, since you put that out there, as I'm reading the comments, that is going to be our next topic. That's going to be our next topic. And thank you guys for coming in. Thank you. I appreciate it. Please hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Now, yes, that is going to be our next topic of discussion. And thank you so much, Williams, for mentioning it, because now we're going to talk about it. Yes, we're going to talk about this guy. Yes. Luigi. Got to talk about him, because there was a lot that has been going on in regards to the gentleman. And the gentleman that you're looking at, he is the CEO suspect that did what he did on December the 4th in Manhattan, New York. Okay? And yes, we're going to talk about him. And thank you guys for hitting that like button. Thank you. I appreciate it so much. And I'm going down. Patriot says, kids should be kids, not political pawns. I absolutely agree, Patriot. Now, I feel that, and this is what I said, shout out to the parents, people who are parents, right? Because when it comes down to Mr. Luigi, let me give a better picture. Mr. Luigi, when it comes down to him, there has been a huge change in what's to come with him. Because when I spoke about him in a few lives, he was supposed to have his next hearings on December the 23rd as well as December the 30th. But boy, have things changed within the matter of days. Okay? Within the matter of days. You cannot make this up, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you guys for coming in. Thank you so much for coming in. When it comes down to Luigi, okay, I did discuss that he was supposed to have a preliminary hearing on December the 23rd in regards to his charges in Pennsylvania, because he has 2 charges. Then he was supposed to have, after that, December the 30th, okay, another hearing in regards to whether he's going to stay in jail, okay, in Pennsylvania, or go to, quote unquote, back to New York. Now, remember I said a lot has changed, okay? Now, fast forward in the presence. In the presence, you cannot make this up. When it comes down to Mr. Luigi, and thank you guys for coming in. They held an indictment press conference yesterday. And when I say they, who am I speaking of? I am speaking of New York. Yes, New York, Manhattan District Attorney, and I'm trying to see if I have it for you guys. This gentleman right here. New York, Manhattan, and this is fair use. Alvin Bragg, okay, him as well as the commissioner, NYPD, New York Police Department Commissioner Jessica Tisch, okay, they held, as well as detectives, okay, they held a press conference that officially indicted, okay, Mr. Luigi, okay, for crimes and charges in New York. Yes, in New York. And because of this official indictment, right, additional charges have been implemented for Mr. Luigi. And the guy that I'm talking about of all of this is this gentleman right here. Okay? He's the one that wants to, people are calling him a hero. And I discussed it yesterday's, I think it was yesterday's live. People are raising thousands and thousands of dollars. Okay? So much to the point that when I initially did my report on it, over $127,000 has been raised to pay for his legal fees. His attorneys, okay, they have for now, they are not accepting any of these quote unquote donations from the anonymous donors. Now, charges. Let's begin. Before this huge indictment yesterday, New York had charged Luigi 1 count of deletion, two second-degree criminal possessions of a device, 1 count of second-degree possession of forged instruments, and 1 of third-degree criminal possession of a device. That was the initial set of charges, right? However, they did a press conference yesterday. They did a press conference yesterday. And a part of this quote-unquote press conference that was done yesterday, there have been additional charges. And in addition to this press conference, Mr. Luigi, the CEO suspect, has now officially been indicted for the crime that he committed with the CEO, Brian Thompson, okay, back on December the 4th. Okay, so at first there were four charges against Luigi in New York, but now, according to the prosecutor, the district attorney of Manhattan, Alvin Bragg, okay, they have announced the following charges. And I want you guys to be able to see it. I don't know if you guys can be able to see it, but the first charge, first degree, a class A1 felony, 1 count for deletion. Next charge, second degree, a class A1 felony, which is 2 counts of deletion. Third, criminal possession of a weapon, of a device in the third degree, a class D felony, 4 counts. 4 counts. Next, a criminal possession of a device in the fourth degree, a class E felony, 1 count. Next, criminal possession of a forged instrument in the second degree, a class D felony, 1 count. Now, according to Mr. Bragg, the district attorney of Manhattan, okay, according to him, he did state, and I quote, and I want to make sure we're on the same page. He did state, and I quote, that the first degree and the second degree, each of them alone is maximum of 25 years to life in prison. Okay? 25 years to life in prison just for those 2. So that is why I'm saying right now, Luigi is looking at minimum of 60 years. And I'm not even being funny saying this. I'm not even being funny. And for you guys to see what I had typed, okay, if you don't want to take my word for it, these are the new charges. These are the new quote unquote charges. And I'm going to make it bigger for you guys to actually see or highlight it. These are the new charges in regards to Luigi. the CEO suspect. So he has a lot of charges, okay? A lot of charges. And I don't know how he's going to get out of this, to say the least. I do not know how in the world he's going to get out of this. Now, when it comes down to, I want to make sure I can play some clips for you guys. Okay, and thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. When it comes down to what's been going on with all of this, right? I want to play a little clip from the press conference that was held yesterday in speaking in regards to Luigi, the CEO suspect of New York, okay? And in regards to this particular press conference that I'm about to play for you guys, this is the district attorney, Alvin Bragg. I wanted to actually mention this to you guys because with him, he also is a factor in the Donald Trump. Yes, the Donald Trump case. Okay. So he has made headlines for a lot of things. But in regards to the indictment yesterday, I'm going to play a clip of this indictment, and this is fair use.
This was a frightening, well-planned, targeted, intended to cause shock and attention and intimidation. It occurred in one of the most bustling parts of our city, threatening the safety of local residents and tourists alike, commuters and business people just starting out on their day. Let me say a bit more about the charges.
Now, this was the press conference that was held yesterday in regards to the indictment. Okay, and thank you guys for coming in. Thank you guys for coming in. And please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Yes, we're talking about the case in regards to the CEO suspect. You cannot make this up, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot make this up. Why? Because, like I stated, in regards to this CEO suspect, Luigi, okay? And yes, I am trying to be fair. Okay? I want to be fair. But I want people to understand he is getting much praise and support by the quote-unquote public. And Alvin Bragg, the district attorney of Manhattan, he did want to make sure it was known that this particular gentleman, Luigi, is not a quote-unquote hero. Now, what are you looking at? I did discuss this. Okay, if you can see the number is now larger than this, but I'm going to highlight it. As of now, from what I looked at, it could be more. Okay, it could be more. They have already raised over $127,000 to assist in Luigi, okay's attorney fees to show their support. And an anonymous giver donated the largest, from what I looked up, was $1,300 just off of one donation. Okay? Now, this is just to give you a tidbit, okay, of what's been going on with Mr. quote-unquote Luigi. And I think yesterday's live, I'm not sure if the Herbal Goddess is still in here, but the Herbal Goddess and other people did mention they did want to inquire about Luigi. Okay, Luigi in regards to, I want to make you guys can be able to see as far as his upbringing, right? Because it was asked and we discussed about it. As far as, you know, I did mention, okay, his upbringing. Yes, he comes from a prominent family. Yes, yada, 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 right? But just how much, okay, is Luigi's family prominent? Just how prominent are they? And I say that because I did my research. Because now, come to find out, Remember I discussed how his family became rich due to his grandparents, right? His grandparents, and they own a number of real estate. They own the radio station, or own the radio station. They own a number of nursing homes and 2 country clubs. Remember I stated that? And in addition, okay, and in addition, they do have, even in the present, a cousin that is a Republican, okay, congressman. Okay, now in the recent, like now, he's actually a congressman. Okay, and his name is Nino. Yes, Nino Mangini. I can't pronounce the last part. Excuse me. But yes, he is actually in the House of Congress. Okay. Now, when it comes down to the family, yes, when it comes down to Luigi's family, just how is this playing a factor with him? Okay. And I want to make sure I show it to you guys. How much time is he looking at? I already told you guys he's looking at one count. I'll say it this way. After yesterday's indictment, one count is 25 years to life. Okay, just off of one count. Okay, and there are a number of charges. Okay, they have indicted Mr. Luigi on. Okay, from the official indictment yesterday. But this is what I wanted to talk about. When it comes down to just how much and how prominent his family is, okay? And the lady that you're looking at, this is Mary, okay, his grandmother that had passed away, okay? She passed away in, quote-unquote, 2023 from Parkinson's disease complications at the age of 92. And his grandfather, Nicholas, he passed away back in 2008 after allegedly suffering a stroke. Now, how does this come into play with Luigi himself, who is one of the grandchildren? Okay? Because Miss Mary had passed away, the grandmother Mary had passed away back last year, March of 2023. Now we're looking at a will. Okay? And according to allegedly the documents and reports, it is stated that her net worth was $30 million. Okay. And it was to be distributed amongst the 10 children. Okay. And I'm going to give a little brief background. Okay. When it comes down to his family's fortune, okay, the grandparents, Mary as well as Nicholas, they had 5 sons, 5 daughters, total of 10 children. And out of those 10 children, they had 37 grandchildren, okay, and 23 great-grandchildren. Now, Luigi, okay, Luigi, in regards to this, he is one of the quote-unquote 37 grandchildren. I'm going to talk about it. Now, people are saying, well, it's not going to hurt him because we have to understand he still has parents that are still allegedly alive. So the actual will, okay, the actual will was distributed to the children, and one of the 10 children is his father, okay? And his father is, from what I looked up, is still alive. He's still alive. Now, and thank you guys for hitting that like button. I appreciate it. Now, when it comes down to the grandfather, he is the forefront. Okay, he is the foundation to the family. Why? We're going to talk about it. Now, with Mary, she was born in Baltimore. That is why Luigi's whole family is in where? Maryland. right? That's where a lot of the quote unquote nursing homes, the country clubs, all of this, it is in quote unquote the area allegedly of Maryland. Why? Because when it comes down to the grandparents, first one, Mary, she was born in Baltimore to Italian immigrants. That's where the name comes from. They're Italian. Okay, born in Baltimore to Italian immigrants and learned English in the first grade. And that is when let's move forward, she ended up meeting the grandfather, Nicholas. And this is the grandfather. Okay, through their families. And they end up getting married in 1950. Now, when it comes down to the grandparents, Nicholas and Mary, both of them, like I said, they own a country club called Turf Valley Country Club that is now known as Turf Valley Resort. Okay, also in Maryland, like I'm telling you guys. And they started this country club back in 1978, and it's still up and running. Okay, 1986, they still are making a portfolio together. They end up purchasing another country club called Hayfields back in 1986. They also founded, like I stated, nursing homes, assisted living company called Lorien Health Services, which operates 9 community-focused facilities in Maryland. Okay, the couple were known for their philanthropy. Like I stated, Luigi comes from a prominent background all the way back to his grandparents, and they instilled on helping the community. They instilled on helping the ill, helping people, right? And not only helping others, but providing a foundation for generational wealth. Right? Now, when it comes down to his grandparents, the family has reportedly contributed over $1 million to a medical center where all 37 of their grandchildren were born. Notice what I said, where all 37 of the grandkids were born, including the CEO suspect. Now, here is the nitty-gritty. How much was Luigi left in the will by his grandmother? Just like I said earlier. Okay. According to Newsweek, the grandmother gave Board of Trustees the power to withhold any discretionary or mandatory distribution of income, okay, for the benefit of any lineal descendant. Meaning, if Luigi's fathers pass away, and Luigi becomes the descendant at that point, look what's highlighted. If the lineal descendant is charged, indicted, convicted of, or pleads guilty to a felony, the grandmother gave instructions, okay, particularly consider invoking their discretion, the Board of Trustees, their discretion to implement in this session if the felony involves a physically violent act against another person. They cannot get anything. They can't get anything. So I want people to understand, when it comes down to this particular suspect, CEO suspect, Mr. Luigi, right? He's in a quote unquote, let's just call a spade a spade. This gentleman, he's in a bind. Now, I don't know, I'm going to be honest. It's all making sense right now because the attorney, remember I discussed the quote unquote attorney that is currently representing him, Mr. Thomas Dickey in Pennsylvania, as well as the new attorney, okay, that's also representing him for New York, okay? Remember when I stated, and I quote, I'm trying to get you guys to actually, and thank you guys for actually hitting the likes. Thank you, thank you. When it comes down to the attorneys, neither one of them want to actually say how their fees are being paid. Nobody wants to say how their fees are being paid. Why? Why? Because at this particular time, as you can see, you see it for yourself. He's not going to be able to get anything in the will. He's not. And as far as the attorney, this is who I wanted you guys to see. The attorney that's representing the New York, and he's definitely going to need somebody now, because yesterday there was an official indictment. There was an official indictment on Luigi in New York. And because of the conversation we had in this live, now Luigi is looking at, he's looking at life. Let's just call it for what it is. Life without parole, and just pure out life. And I want people to understand this. Like, you know, people are saying that he's a hero. I understand people have been treated wrong by the insurance companies, right? People have been treated unfairly. Claims have been denied. People, you know, have lost a lot, you know, from insurance companies. I understand that. However, we have to understand this. You know, you don't hurt another person to get even. And I also want to state this in regards to Mr. Luigi himself. He was not even a person that was with United Healthcare, right? He didn't even have United Healthcare. He just came up on somebody to make a point. Just came up on somebody, make a point. Okay, and the lady that you're looking at right here, she is the attorney that is representing Mr. Luigi in New York, Manhattan, New York, okay, for the indictment, that huge indictment that was announced just yesterday. And she is the wife to the attorney that is the lead attorney in, yes, the quote-unquote federal indictment against Sean Combs, also known as Diddy. So, yes, both of this is husband and wife. Husband and wife, they're going to be making millions and millions of dollars by the year of 2025 because they're not cheap. Okay? Now, that is in regards to Mr. Luigi. Okay? And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Thank you so much for coming in. I'm going to go into the comments one moment. I want to make sure I get everything now. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you so much. I'm trying to make sure I have everything. Make sure I have everything. Now I'm going to bring it back. I want to bring it back. Okay? When we speak of this person, I'm trying to see if I can pull it up. I want to bring it back to this person right here. Okay? The actual district attorney for Manhattan, who has filed that huge indictment against the CEO suspect, Mr. Alvin Bragg. And thank you guys for coming in. Cinder says, nothing justifies either. I believe this is being constructed. The ideology is being put out there and intended to catch this way. Thank you so much. I appreciate your views, Cindy. Amanda says, okay, watch after the live. It is scary about the Amanda. Woo. This is not the first time somebody has mentioned it as far as the quote unquote drones. Because yes, you are absolutely right. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. Chauncey says, Moss, there is always a bigger fish or underlying truth, but doctors are now more close to private contractors. Yes, I agree, right? And this is why I said what I said when it comes down. I've said it earlier. I said it in previous lives when it comes down to quote unquote health is wealth, right? You have to know and treat your body well, because when it comes down to these pharmaceuticals, when it comes down to the insurance, you guys see it for yourself. You see what's going on, right? You pay all that money with the health insurance. You pay all that money, and when it's time to have an operation, when time is needed, a lot of people their claims end up getting denied. Does. And we have to look at it. I'm not saying everybody. I'm not going to say everybody. But I did speak on how privatized insurance was founded. I did speak on that in a previous live. I did speak on that by a German by the name of Frederick Hoffman. Okay, I did speak on that. I'm not going to speak on it this live. Okay, we have too much to talk about. And thank you guys for coming in. Okay, so I want people to understand that health is wealth. Health is wealth. You have to be responsible for your own health. Do not, I repeat, do not depend on other entities to take care of you. You have to put yourself in a position to take care of yourself. And when I say put yourself in a position, you do not have to quote unquote something small as quote unquote eating right, exercising, or even quote unquote not stressing over things that you do not have control of, right? This is why you see, and I want to show this person, this is why you quote unquote see, I want to make sure I can show it to you guys. This is why you quote unquote see this person, he's never stressed. He is never stressed. I'm going to show who I'm talking about. He is never stressed. And give me one moment, you guys. I want to actually show who I'm talking about. This guy. He's not eating right. Showed it in my lives. His main dinners on, and people have said it. I showed it in pictures. He loves to eat McDonald's. He loves to eat KFC. He loves to eat certain things. But like I say, he's not stressed. And if anybody should be stressed right now, I'm telling you, it should be Joe Biden, for one. Okay? Joe Biden, for one. And for two, Donald Trump. Why? Because anybody that has the position of being a president, that is very stressful. Very stressful. And in his case, he should be very stressful considering all what has came his way. And why am I showing him? Because the district attorney that indicted the CEO suspect, Mr. Alvin Bragg, he is also the district attorney that indicted Donald Trump. Yes, we're going to talk about it. Okay. He made headlines. He's in the headlines. Okay. He was the one that did that same indictment on Donald Trump last year. Yes, he did. Oh, yes, he did. This particular gentleman we're talking about is this gentleman right here, Mr. Alvin Bragg. And thank you guys for coming in. Thank you. Hello, Nicholas. Thank you for coming in. Shout out to Nicholas. Angel says, send my kid with a bodyguard to school. That's why I say it's getting wild. It is getting wild, ladies and gentlemen. Patriot says, I don't care about money. Friends matter more. Exactly. I agree. Now, when it comes down to this gentleman that you're looking at, I had to take a little brief and look at the chat. Thank you guys for coming in. When it comes down to this gentleman that we are looking at right here, he is the one that has made history. Yes, he is the only. I repeat, he is the only attorney, district attorney, and excuse the wild typos. I had to type this up. Everything that you're looking at, I typed up. Okay, he is the only district attorney, okay, that accomplished not only indicting a president, a former president, okay, but also having the president be convicted. And because the 47th president, elected president now is Mr. Donald Trump, by January the 20th, okay, Once he becomes the official president for the second term, this district attorney that you're looking at, Mr. Alvin Bragg, okay, he will be the first district attorney, okay, to quote unquote have a president be sentenced. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. You can't. And the only reason I'm talking about this gentleman right here is because out of all of the other district attorneys in the different states we talked about, I'll show it. Okay. Don't take my word for it. You don't have to take my word for it. You know what? I'm gonna hold off on those people. I'll show it. I'll show it in the next live. But he is the only one that has, I'm gonna be honest, indicted, had the president convicted, and also moving forward, okay, once Donald Trump becomes president again, okay, he is the elected president as of November the 5th of this year. But once he enters back into the White House January the 20th after the inaugural, okay, ceremony, he will be the first district attorney, okay, to have a president officially get sentenced, okay? And this is another dilemma that he's in, okay? He has a lot going on, this particular district attorney, because you guys know, and that is why I wanted to talk about, I'm doubling up right now, because that's why I titled this live, the thumbnail, Donald Trump's wins and Donald Trump's loss versus his loss, because this is one some would say would be a loss for Donald Trump, because out of all the cases, this is the only district attorney that successfully, some would say successfully, some would say that, you know, being fair, accomplished in not only indicting Donald Trump, but convicting Donald Trump. And now he is going back and forth with Donald Trump when it comes down to having Donald Trump get sentenced. Okay. And before we get into that, I'm going to play a clip of what Alvin Bragg spoke about back in 2023. Okay. This is him. He's coming hard. This is why I say, Luigi, I'm going to say this. With Luigi don't have Donald Trump money. Okay. Luigi rich. Okay. He comes from a prominent family. Okay. Yes. But he doesn't, let's call it for what it is. He doesn't have Donald Trump money. The CEO suspect, 26 years old, who has 2 engineering degrees, might I add, okay, wasted his time, okay, coming at the CEO of United Healthcare, Brian Thompson, right? He's being convicted. Let's break it down. Not convicted. He's being indicted. You can't make this up. He's being indicted by the same district attorney that allegedly successfully indicted Donald Trump on 34 felonies. This is who Luigi, the CEO, has to go up against. Well, should I say his attorney? Okay. And I'm going to play a quick little clip of when Alvin Bragg indicted Donald Trump back last year. Okay. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. This is wild. Woo, this is wild. I'm going to play, and this is fair use. Thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. And thank you for the 41 likes. Please hit that like button. Can we get it up to 50 or 60? But thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it.
Returned by a Manhattan grand jury on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records in the first degree. Under New York State law, it is a felony to falsify business records with intent to defraud and an intent to conceal another crime. That is exactly what this case is about. 34 false statements made to cover up other crimes. These are felony crimes in New York State, no matter who you are. We cannot and will not normalize serious criminal conduct. The defendant repeatedly made false statements on...
Now, gotta stop it for YouTube purposes. Thank you guys for coming in. Who is he talking about? Who is he talking about? Right? He's talking about Donald Trump. Okay? Now, this gentleman is the same gentleman that the CEO suspect has to go up against. Like I said, he has to go up against. And in regards to this case of falsifying that he's speaking of in regards to Donald Trump, I kind of feel this is kind of, I'm just going to be honest. I mean, I don't like looking at this person. Not him. I'm not speaking of him. I'm going to show you guys who I'm talking about. I'm trying to be fair and impartial. I really am trying to be fair and impartial. But this person was the key witness that helped get Donald Trump indicted on 34 felonies. This person right here. Oh my goodness. Oh, Stormy Daniels. Stormy Daniels. This is the person that the district attorney, Alvin, the prosecutors use against Donald Trump. They use Stormy Daniels as being one of the key witnesses. Okay? Because she is the one that allegedly testified that she, quote unquote, slept with this president. Okay? And she allegedly stated that Donald Trump paid her $150,000, okay, so that she would not reveal that this had transpired, okay, during his 2016 presidential election, okay. Now, how does all of this come into perspective into the now? Because when it comes down to the quote unquote sentencing, this judge, he's also making history. Why? Because he's the first judge in United States history that is now having to quote unquote sentence Donald Trump. Okay? And not only, okay, this was also in the news this week. He made a very, very heavy decision. And what was the decision that he made? Okay? One of the decisions, because he still hasn't made the decision as far as quote unquote what the sentence will be. Scary, I think he is. But the decision that he made back on, and let me make sure, I want to be very, very honest, very, let me make sure you guys can see it. It was Monday. Yes, Monday. This past Monday, this judge, I want to make sure you guys can see this judge that I'm speaking of right here. Just Monday, he upheld that Donald Trump's felony conviction of 34 counts, okay? He upheld, okay, that the convictions, okay, it cannot be immune. He cannot be immune from being sentenced. That was the decision, one of the decisions that was made Monday, okay? Now, when it comes down to this district attorney that I've spoke about, Mr. Alvin Bragg, okay, and that is this gentleman right here, Gonna show them to you guys. Um, show you the guys that who I'm speaking of, and thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. This gentleman right here, Mr. Alvin Bragg, he is the district attorney for Manhattan. Keyword Manhattan. Okay, he was the one that was over the case that caused Donald Trump to be convicted for 30 felonies, that caused Donald Trump to be the first president to be a convicted felon, right? And he's also the one that, as of yesterday, he did an official indictment on the CEO suspect, okay, for the New York charges, okay? When it comes down to back to Donald Trump, okay? When it comes back to Donald Trump, as of Monday, because remember, when it came down to the Supreme Court of Justices, they had stated that a president cannot be sentenced, okay? He cannot be sentenced. He cannot be found guilty, especially when he is the quote-unquote what? He is the president. And you guys know, I mean, some people don't want to call it for what it is, but he was elected November the 5th. He did beat out Kamala Harris. He did beat out Kamala Harris on November the 5th. Okay? Now, how does all this come into play? Because this particular judge, he says, I don't care. He says, I don't care about the Supreme Court justice. I don't care. I am going to still, at this particular point, I'm going to deny Donald Trump, the president Donald Trump, the elected president Donald Trump, the option of being immune, okay? And at this particular point, that's where he is on it. But he did leave out one more ruling. He did leave out one more ruling. Okay, and this is where all of this we're waiting for. We're waiting to see, okay, if he is going to make another decision coming up. Okay, but what I can say in regards to, we'll talk about in the next live in regards to that one more thing that this particular judge, okay, has not made a decision on. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. I'm going to go back into the comments now. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so much for coming in. Hello, you guys. Joe says, you sure they did a press conference? Yes. Now, there have been a number of press conferences going on, okay? There have been a number of press conferences going on this week, right? We've had press conference in regards to the indictment against Luigi, the CEO suspect. We also had a press conference in regards to what happened in Wisconsin, okay? The mass incident that happened in Madison County of Wisconsin, right? There have been a number of incidents, and thank you so much for the likes. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Now, the dilemma is when it comes down to this particular case in regards to Donald Trump, a lot of people feel that the district attorney, as well as this judge, because he still doesn't know how to make a decision, he's very, I don't know. I think he's just scared. I don't know. Okay, because he could have been made these decisions way back. Okay, I'm just going to be honest. But a lot of people, especially in New York, and much respect to New York if you're in here, but some people feel that this is wasting taxpayers' money, okay? When it comes down to still trying to argue and move forward with sentencing and all of this, a person that is officially an elected 47th president, Donald Trump. A lot of people are feeling that this is a waste of taxpayers' money, okay? And when it comes down to who they are saying is wasting taxpayers' money is this district attorney. Now, my argument to them is this. Okay? I do feel that Donald Trump's case in the state of Georgia, that is a waste of taxpayers' money. Why? Because unlike in New York, I want people to understand this. Unlike in New York, I gotta call it for what it is. Unlike in New York, we have not even had a case yet, okay? All because of this lady right here, Fani Willis, okay? The district attorney in Fulton County that indicted Donald Trump as well as 18 other co-defendants back in August of 2023, okay? She indicted Donald Trump, and guess what? Okay, she's using quote unquote Georgia's racketeering or RICO laws to go against Donald Trump here in Georgia. But I want people to understand this, right? Why is this a waste? I'm going to be honest. This is a waste of money, especially in Georgia. A waste. Why? Because this district attorney that you're looking at, Miss Fani Willis, she has not even had any quote unquote convictions of this RICO case. Why? Because of her actions outside of court, right? I don't want to get into it, right? Like, she has a lot going on, okay? If you guys been watching my lives, I implore you to, subscribe. I really do. And like this live. Because when it comes down to Miss Fani Willis, she recently has had so much going on. Okay, Donald Trump's case down here, it can't even be dealt with. Everything has been postponed. Okay, everything. When I say everything has been postponed, there has been no conviction. There has been no trial. It's just been put on a quote unquote hold. Why? Because of her actions outside of the courtroom prior to this indictment, okay? Her personal relationship, okay, with someone that she hired to be a special prosecutor to this case, okay, pertaining to Donald Trump and the 18 co-defendants. One of the 18 co-defendants includes Rudy Giuliani, but we're not going to talk about poor Rudy. Now, when it comes down to waste of money, I say Georgia is the waste right now. I want my money because I want my money because in Florida, okay, there's no case. No more case. Been dismissed. Okay, case been dismissed. The appeal has been dropped by Jack Smith, okay, who was the special counsel hired, okay, and then also in Washington, D.C., case dropped. It's dropped. New York is the only one. I got to show it. New York's District Attorney of Manhattan, Mr. Alvin Bragg, he's the only one that accomplished what Fani Willis wanted to accomplish, I gotta show it, that accomplished what Jack Smith wanted to accomplish. He's the only one accomplished what they wanted, right? But think about it. At this point, Fani Willis is the only one that is wasting taxpayers' money. Why? Because she, in her words, you cannot make this up. She says she will wait, even if she has to wait for 4 to 8 years, okay, to quote unquote convict the president. She will. Those are her words, not mine. And I want you guys to think about that. This case in Georgia against Donald Trump, she's willing to wait 4 more years. That's 4 years of taxpayers' money. Okay? Now, when it comes down to this gentleman that I'm showing you guys, this particular prosecutor, this district attorney that I'm showing you guys, when it comes down to him, and thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. When it comes down to him, he is already trying to tell Donald Trump, you know, hey, listen here. Now, Donald Trump, I don't think he's going to do it, but he's already saying, I will make an option for you. Okay? And that option is, okay, I can delay your sentence until 2029. Okay? I can delay it. That's the option. Okay? And also, I want to make sure I can show the other option, because I'm looking at it. The other option is, okay, he can pay a quote-unquote fine, okay, Donald Trump. But Alvin Bragg, the district attorney of Manhattan, did say, okay, as far as options go, he is willing to delay the sentencing until 2029. Okay. That's the option. That's the option for him. Okay. Now, here's the bigger question. And this is what I want you guys to put in the comments, and even when this live's in, please tell me what you guys think. Do you think that Donald Trump, this particular president we're talking about, the elected 47th president, okay, do you think he will get sentenced? Or do you think, okay, as far as New York goes, or do you think he would just have to pay a fine? And that's the question. And thank you guys for coming in. I'm going back into the comments. Thank you guys for coming in. Sorry for being late. I'm reading the comments now. I apologize. Thank you so much. Shout out to Jim Stone. Jim Stone says, hooray, I made it. Well done, Graham. Thank you so much, Jim. Jim says, Notre Dame says he's going down, prison regardless, talking about Luigi. Nicholas says, Canada is actually my last name. I'm not actually Canadian. My apologies, Nicholas. And thank you guys for coming in. I'm reading the comments. Easy Peasy says, hey, Jim. I'm going down. Thank you, you guys for coming in. Jim Stone says it's all manipulation. Oh, easy peasy. My bad. My bad, easy peasy. Are you still in here, easy peasy? Thank you so much for coming in, easy peasy. Yes, I did it. I did that for you, your request. Jonathan says, didn't the Supreme Court throw those charges out? No, Jonathan. They have not thrown any charges out. Okay? What the Supreme Court of Justice did is they did state, okay, that the president can be immune. Yes, right? You're right. But that is how, and that is why this particular judge, his decision, he's going against the Supreme Court of Justice, because he says, I don't care about all that. I don't care about all of that. Okay? According to this particular judge that made his decision on Monday, okay, he said he is denying that option for Donald Trump to be immune, okay, from being sentenced, okay? So he says, I don't care what the Supreme Court of Justice are saying. I don't care. That's what he's saying, right? So he's saying, we finna move forward with this. We finna move forward. You have already been convicted by the district attorney of Manhattan, okay, and the jury. You have already been convicted of 34 counts, okay, of falsifying records. You have already been convicted guilty. So we're finna move forward with this sentencing, and I don't care about all that. That is what the actual judge is basically stating from his decision that he made this Monday. Okay? That is what he's stating. Because just like I said, if you guys can read, the judge upheld President-elect Donald Trump's felony conviction for falsifying records to cover up a hush money scandal, scandal. Okay, and what was the quote unquote scandal? It was in regards to Stormy Daniels. Okay, Stormy Daniels, because allegedly, based off of this, I don't know if she's still adult. I don't know if she's still an entertainer. I'll say it that way. She alleges that she was paid $150,000 by Donald Trump, okay, to keep it hush hush. Okay. Now, this judge has made a decision that he's going to uphold. He's going to uphold this, right? And in recent, like I stated, Supreme Court's ruling on presidential immunity, okay, had been nullified, okay? But like I stated, this judge is staying. I'm putting a stance on this, okay? Now, I don't know what's to come, because technically, Donald Trump has 4 years, and based off of what we have all seen can happen in the matter of weeks and months, things change real fast, very fast, because as of now, this is the only case that has went all the way just until the sentencing process, just until that, okay? And they said Trump will make history January the 20th as the first criminal felon to occupy the White House and serve as president. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Also, if you would like to donate or support the channel even more, okay, because everything that you're looking at, I am the one that I put in the time, okay? And I respect everybody that comes into this live and into the chat and into the platform. Please hit that subscribe button. Please also like this live, okay, as well as if you would like to be a contributor, a supporter, you can support even more by contributing a super chat sticker or a super sticker or even a ruby or even a membership. Okay, it's a lot. Okay, and thank you guys for coming in. Now, I'm going to go back into the comments. Thank you guys for coming in. Easy Peasy says, tell him, politic. Thank you so much. Holly, thank you so much for coming back, says, but they let Biden go, and Joe Biden's son and brother and other, not Holly. Holly says they done let Joe Biden do what Joe Biden want to do. He has pardoned Hunter Biden, and they still won't let Trump, they won't let Trump be. And thank you guys for coming in. Now, I'm going back into the comments. Thank you so much. Patriot says, please hit that like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. Easy Peasy says, Trump gave Stormy the big puff. And thank you for the like. Thank you so much. Matt says, make America great again, 2020-24. Shout out to Matt. Thank you for coming in, Matt. Easy Peasy says, smash that like button. Patriot says, 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028. Oh, my goodness. Big fella says, witch hunt. Oh, no. Look who we have in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. I did not see it. We have someone by the name of Diddy in the chat. Oh my goodness. We got someone named Diddy in the chat. One stubborn says Alvin needs to be arrested for. Now, see, this is why people are saying in regards to the district attorney that one stubborn is saying Alvin needs to be arrested. This is why a lot of people are stating that Alvin Bragg, the district attorney of Manhattan, is wasting taxpayers' money because of all what's going on. Okay? Because like I said, he is still waiting for Donald Trump to be sentenced, and he's the only district attorney that has not only did a successful indictment, but a successful conviction of a president. Sonny says Trump is no more a felon than I am. And thank you, Sonny, for coming in. One Stubborn says, you just got a new follower. Breath of fresh air. Thank you so much, Sonny. Thank you so much. And Kevin says, Judge is a... you guys are really coming. Jim says, one Stubborn, you're a legend. Thanks for subbing. Easy peasy. I tried to do it. I'm trying to see if you were... I'm trying to see if... Let me see. I did add you. I don't know if it's coming in. John says he was Trump's judge for January the 6th. Easy peasy says Luigi. And thank you guys for coming in. Geo Man says he's a felon. And see, this is why I wanted to talk about it. This is why I wanted to speak on, Donald Trump. That's why I titled this live, okay? What I titled it. Because also in regards to what's been going on this week, okay? Not only, but Donald Trump, okay, and this is just a light, this is just a little light, okay, for today's live, because I don't like, being so heavy on talking about, topics. We talked about in this live, we talked about the 15-year-old girl that committed the heinous crime in Wisconsin at her private academy, okay, back on Monday, and what happened to her father's house, okay, that I still think he needs to file a lawsuit, okay, I'm standing on that. We talked about that. We also discussed in regards to Luigi, okay, with this particular district attorney, okay, of Manhattan. He did do a quote-unquote indictment, okay, this week, okay, against Luigi, and he added new charges, and these new charges now are Luigi is facing. Oh my goodness, Joy. I'm trying to be calm. Let me be calm. I'm finna take a deep breath. Joy, I love Joy. I'm going to say Joy because Joy always, I'm going to tell you guys. Joy, I got to put a pause. I got to. Please let me put a pause. Shout out to Joy. I love Joy because Joy discussed some things, and I love her because she understands when it comes down to, like, it's bigger than just quote unquote, the politics and all of that, right? She knows, she actually understands, like, with this channel, we speak on not just politics, but we speak about, how to better educate ourselves and also better ourselves outside of this, right? Because one thing I always speak on, right? Speaking up. Being an advocate for yourself, speaking up, right? And thank you so much, Joy. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Now let me see. Yes. Oh my goodness. Merry Christmas too. Oh my goodness. I'm trying not to cry. Christmas. Merry Christmas to you all. I would say this is of Joy. I wish I could see you. I wish. Look, I know you're like, I wish you could see me. But that I think that is a sign from from above. I'll say it that way because I lost someone very special to me. Um, I lost somebody very special to me 2 days before Christmas. And I'm just going to leave it at that. So I'm taking all this. I know people say, oh, you're overthinking. No, but I take it as a sign, right? Because I look at this person's name. Their name is Joy, right? Symbolizes to always bring joy, right? And I was in a place in the point of my life where, because I lost someone very special 2 days before Christmas. I want you guys to understand that. 2 days before Christmas. Very special. And I look at that as a sign, right? When someone's name is Joy, it's telling me, stay the course. Don't be in sadness. And Merry Christmas. Celebrate every day. Celebrate life. Thank you so much, Joy. I really, really appreciate that. And I'm so thankful and I'm so grateful. And a lot of people can say, oh, that's the no, I promise you. I look at that $10. I'm so serious. I look at anything that is given. I will look at, I promise you, I'm not being funny. 2 cents. I look at that like, because that, you don't have to do that. And you made that decision to do that, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Joy. And Merry Christmas to you as well. And to all of you guys in this life, thank you so much. Trying to become, I'm getting better though. Thank you. I got better. I've got better. Because at one point I was crying. Okay. Joy, you remember. Joy, you remember how emotional I got one time. But back to the schedule. I'm getting better. When it comes down to what's going on with this matter that's going on at hand, right? With this district attorney, Alvin Bragg, okay? Like I stated, people feel like, they say it in the comments, okay? They say it in the comments, okay? They feel like he needs to be arrested. They saying everything, right? But like I stated, the question is, what's to come moving forward? Because a lot of things has happened. A lot of things. Because Donald Trump was seen not to even win the election, right? But boy, has time and things changed, right? Boy, has things changed. Now, when it comes down to, I want to keep it on a light note. I did say that. I just thought about it. On a light note, okay, as far as a win, okay, and some people might say that's an L for Donald Trump. I'm going to say it's a win because even while Donald Trump is going through all this mess and all this stress, as they say, like a lot of people here in America now, due to inflation, due to the bad healthcare insurance, okay, due to everything being so high, okay, and I'm not going to blame it on anybody just yet, okay, but some people are blaming, okay, the current administration, but I'm not going to say anything, okay, no shots, no shame, but just to keep it light in today's life, right, Donald Trump did have a press conference himself. He did have a press conference. Yes, he did. Okay. And where did he have it? Down in Florida. On his estate. Okay. And here is Donald Trump. And people are saying that Donald Trump has a quote unquote new hairdo, new haircut. Okay. And this was Donald Trump, okay, this week, okay, yes, this was Donald Trump having a good old time. I think he hadn't been too long, got off the golf course, and, he hadn't been to, he's just relaxing, okay, and people are saying he has a new haircut, so this is his new haircut, okay, down in Florida, on his estate. Okay. And I will discuss, okay, the wins, okay, the quote unquote, the wins, because this live we did discuss some loss, a loss. I'll say it that way. But I will say this, to me, this particular picture of Donald Trump, because people tried to say, oh, it's a horrible haircut. What is it doing? I feel like this is a win. Why? Because guess what? He's not looking like the win. He's not locked up, okay? And a lot of people say he needs to be locked up. But like I said, Donald Trump is 78 years old. He's the same age as Joe Biden was when Joe Biden got into office 4 years ago, right? And we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about that next live, because he is the same particular president that, quote unquote, I just want you guys to see the difference. I can't make this up. This is how Joe Biden looks right now after 4 years. And who's to say how how Donald Trump is going to look? Because Donald Trump right now, he's looking happy. He's looking relaxed. But look at Joe Biden. This is how you look after doing 4 years in as a president, okay? Because now Joe Biden, as of January the 20th, he will be the oldest president in history, okay, leaving. He will be leaving president, okay, the position of being president at the age of 82 years old. 82, okay? But the question is, I'm going to slide it on over. How is Donald Trump going to look 4 years from now? Why? Because just like we talked about, this particular district attorney, Alvin Bragg, he's already put out giving Donald Trump the option of delaying the sentence in New York, okay, until 2029. And mind you, like I said, Donald Trump will be 82 years old. Okay? He'll be 82 years old himself. So think about that for a minute. Just think about it. Now, to me, like I said, this is a win. Donald Trump, he's not sweating, because a lot of people in his position, they would be freaking out. Freaking out. Okay? So this is part, I guess this was part 2 of part 1 yesterday. And thank you guys for coming in. Shout out to Joy. And let me go ahead and hit that like. Thank you so much, Joy. Now I'm going to go back into the comments. Beyond says, also our tax money gets wasted through wars and endless bills that provide government. Ooh, Beyond, are you just coming in? Beyond, I hope you subscribe to this channel, because I cannot make this up. What you're talking about, I discussed this. I promise you. Oh my goodness. Oh, I wish I could hug you. Because we discussed this. I promise you, I discussed this yesterday's live. How it has been so many billions and billions of dollars been sent, okay, quote unquote, sent to other countries. And even recently in the Joe Biden administration, okay, there have been billions in the matter of 4 days, okay? Because December the 7th, there was a billion sent to Ukraine to assist in the military aid. And then December the 12th, there was another over $1 billion that was sent to assist, okay, Ukraine. So that right there, that is beyond, you are beyond absolutely right, okay? And when it comes down to, I'm glad you mentioned that. When it comes down to that, trying to see if I can show it to you. When it comes to that, now we're in the position where Joe Biden, this particular person that I showed you, I'm going to show it to you guys again. Our president, our current president, our 46th president, Mr. Joe Biden. Okay, and this is how he looks in the present. Okay, with our 46th president, he is trying to, and as well as the Congress as a whole, they're trying to make sure they get rid of the approved funding to assist. Okay, when it comes down to other countries, they're trying to get rid of the billions and billions of dollars. Okay, before this person comes back into office, Mr. Donald Trump. Okay, so they're already in the works of trying to hurry up and get billions and billions of dollars. I repeat, billions and billions of dollars that is specifically not for us, okay, here in America, but is specifically intended to provide aid to other countries, okay? I want you guys to take that for food for thought, right? Take that food for thought, okay? And I'm going to go back. Oh, I thought it said Donald Trump. It says Donald J. Plump. Donald, you can't make this up. Look in the live, you guys. Donald J. Plump says a waste of taxpayer money is trying to get rid of women's rights. Whoa. Let me read that again. Donald J. Plump says a waste of taxpayer money is trying to get rid of women's rights as well as the TTRANS rights, not prosecuting criminal politicians. Whoa. Donald, you really put that in. You said that. You said that. Easy Peasy says, do you like pie? Easy peasy. I'm trying to give you I'm trying to add you. I'm like, it says it on my end. Heather says, subscribe then like. Shout out to Heather. Thank you so much for coming in. Heather says, we all know what we can't watch mainstream media to learn the truth about anything. Yes. And this is why, I made this platform to, speak of the unheard, right? What the media and what other outlets don't want to talk about, or not even just the media and other outlets, what people in the real world are afraid to talk about, what they're afraid to talk about, right? And that is why I started this live, okay? The first thing I talked about was this particular person right here. This particular person right here, okay? This student, move it over for you guys. This particular student, okay, the actions that she did, okay, at the Abundant Life Christian School, because they are trying to hide the fact about, whether she was biologically born a she. They're trying to hide that. And then in addition to that, they're trying to hide a lot of things. But what they fail to realize, this is why you have to educate your kids. This is why you have to educate the misinformed, because everybody, okay, it's not, the life itself is not black and white, okay? Life itself, you don't get what you want in life. And I think in some people cases, and that is why I spoke about this gentleman right here, the CEO suspect, Luigi, okay, he's also thinking that life is black and white. You don't get what you want in life. Life doesn't run like that. It doesn't run like that. And this is why I feel people have to not be afraid to speak of the uncomfortable. Not be afraid. Because if you don't speak of the uncomfortable, this is the product of it, okay? People feel afraid. They feel afraid. They get upset. They don't know what to do. They don't know who to speak to. They don't know how to get help. And they don't feel comfortable with themselves, right? This is what happens. And we have spoke about it. All these schools here in America, a lot of schools, more parents are now feeling not comfortable taking their children to public school, taking their children. And look what's happened. This happened at a private school. Come on now. This happened at a private school. The CEO suspect, he went to a private school that costs between $35,000 to $40,000 a year. Come on now, this is America, and I want people to understand this, right? Everybody doesn't make $1 million here in America, right? All Americans are not quote unquote rich. All Americans are not quote unquote even middle class. Okay? So if you look at, this is why I wish they could speak on things more in the forefront in real life of what's going on here in America, right? Now I would say this, I love my country. I do. I love my country, right? And I'm going to say this, I would be a fool to say I don't love my country. I would be a fool. Why? Because had it not been for the land that I live on and live in, right, I wouldn't be able to talk to you guys. Because guess what? In other countries, what we're doing right now, we don't have that option. We're not given that option. But I think some people like Luigi lost that. They forgot about that. They forgot about that. But see, this is what happens, like I said, when you don't speak of things that need to be spoken about. And mental health is real. And that's one of the things, the key factors that I hope moving forward, okay, that our upcoming president, who, as you guys, we have discussed about Mr. Donald Trump, okay, I hope moving forward that they will have some initiatives to deal with, okay, the mental health aspect, because this is getting ridiculous. Okay, people like this gentleman right here, no excuse. No excuse. And thank you guys for coming in. Thank you so much for coming in. Now, back to our president. Back to our president, okay? The upcoming president, because our current president is not this president. Our current president is Joe Biden. Okay, so let me correct myself. Our current president is Joe Biden. Let me move Mr. Trump out the way for a minute. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. I appreciate you guys coming in. We've had a great live. I'm going to go back to the comments. Okay, and I want to make sure I have discussed everything. Last thing, I will say this. I will discuss the wins, okay, because we have discussed a lot this live, right? I did discuss maybe a win or two for Donald Trump, but I want to discuss even more things on the forefront when it comes down to, I'm going to be honest, when it comes down to a lot of things that are going to happen moving forward, when it comes down to the new administration coming in the year of 2025, pertaining to this gentleman right here, Mr. Donald Trump. And as well, I will talk about Mr. Joe Biden, our president, our current president, Joe Biden. Okay? And thank you guys for coming in. I'm going to read the comments. Easy Peasy says, I want to hear politic opinion on the drones. Oh, we got it. Okay. That's going to be my promise for the next live. Okay. I will do it. I will do it. Thank you so much. Patriot says, please hit that like and subscribe to the channel. 2 says, he's in. Whoa, I can't repeat that. Heather says, Bragg needs to be removed. The district attorney of Manhattan needs to be removed. That is what Heather said. Shout out to Heather. Justin says, not only the judge can, okay, Justin, I'm trying to see what you're trying to say in that chat. Easy Peasy says, yeah, I see you got it, man. Okay, I see you, Easy Peasy. Cadillac says, are you for Trump or Kamala? Now, Catholic, you must be new to the channel. I hope you subscribe to the channel. I implore you to watch 19-second clips of my channel. Okay, yes, the shorts. That will kind of give you an idea of where I stand on a political aspect. Okay, because here on this platform, we welcome everybody. Okay, this is not the channel that says pro Kamala Harris and pro Donald Trump. We welcome everybody, okay? I'm for the people, right? I think that's why we're in the situation we are here in America, because people are not for the people. They want to, quote unquote, pick a side. Pick a side and have anger and frustration and take it out on the innocent or just people that don't really count. Okay? House of Odyssey says neither sentence commuted community service. Oh, that's a good one. So, House, you say that Donald Trump needs to be sentenced, commuted, and receive community service? Now, I'm not going to lie. I would love to. Now, you know what? That's one thing I have never seen Donald Trump do. I have never seen Donald Trump on the side of the road picking up trash. Okay? I've seen him eat McDonald's and KFC. I ain't never seen Donald Trump be on the side picking up trash. Now, and thank you guys for coming in. We're just keeping it light. Thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate it. Donald J. Plump says, no, he was convicted by a jury. Yes, you're absolutely right, Donald Plump. Yes, you're absolutely right. But I will say this, okay? And let's just be honest, okay? Had it not been for this particular district attorney, Mr. Alvin Bragg, who had did the initial indictment of Donald Trump, who is our 47th elected president, as well as the former 45th president of the United States of America. Had it not been for Alvin Bragg, who had done the initial indictment, ask yourself this question: would there even have been a jury to convict Donald Trump? Moving forward, Easy Peasy says Biden needs to go to jail. Ooh, Easy Peasy, you coming in, boy. Easy Peasy said, I don't care if Joe Biden is 82. He got to go, just like he got to go to jail. Thank you so much for coming in. Reginald says, get over it. And we're moving. Thank you so much, Reginald. I appreciate that comment. You don't know how much you help. Devin says, we all know, and those out there who say that is not political is not being honest with themselves. And I appreciate that, because that is why people have to understand. Okay? You have to speak your views, but speak it respectfully, right? Don't speak something where it hurts someone, right? We live in the times around the world where there's no telling what comes out of your mouth, okay? And with some people would say, based off the actions, okay, of someone, I don't want to get into it, but they said some things on January the 6th that caused things to get escalated, okay, at the Capitol, right? That's why you have to be kind of careful what you say and who you say it to, because, you know, a lot of people here today, a lot of people here in the world, I say it that way, they don't know, you know, they feel like they'll lean on anybody for guidance, right? They feel like because there's so much going on, right? And Donald J. Plump says, easy peasy, what crime? Paul says, power of threats from a dishonest public official. And I'm trying to read it before I read it, okay? Because I don't want to read the wrong thing. And thank you so much, Paul. Paul says, power of threats from a dishonest public official. Because we the people have been educated now. Liars and cheats fool no one, because we have been educated by now. And that's why I say we have to, you know. And thank you guys for coming in so much. I appreciate the actual support. And shout out to Joy. Shout out to Easy Peasy. Shout out to Junkyard. Shout out to Northern Dame. Northern Dame says, right, like to see you too. And Easy Peasy says, we want to see politics. Tyler says, Donald Trump finna make America great again. Thank you so much, Tyler, for coming in. John says, why we obsessing over him so much? And thank you guys for coming in. Thank you, John, for coming in. And as to answer your question, we're just, you know, giving the information, right? Because guess what? The president to come officially January the 20th will be Donald Trump. And I implore people, please educate yourself, right? I implore you guys. because there are a lot of things that are going to be changed. There are a lot of things going to happen moving forward. And you have to be well informed and do not get upset. Okay? Do not be afraid. Okay? Because when you get upset, you help no one. You help no one. And you do not especially help yourself. Because just like I stated in regards to this particular person recently, the CEO suspect, I have to put it out there. He had all of this money. This CEO suspect comes from a well prominent family, but he decided not to use his wealth, use his knowledge for the good. He did not use it for the good. He used it for, not so good. Right? And that's why I implore you guys to, educate, also help lift somebody else up. Help lift somebody else up. And something so small as hello goes a long way. Because according to this particular CEO suspect, he disappeared for 6 months. And thank you guys for coming in. Aspen says, there is an astronomical difference in Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Oh, my goodness. Joe Biden says they are not going to lock him up. It's just for show and waste of people's time. Now, see, look, that's why I said what I said. A lot of people that this district attorney is wasting taxpayers' money. Why? Because you already had the Supreme Court of Justices, okay, said what they said when it comes down to a president should be held as far as being immune, right? But look what has came. That's why I said, who's to say? We don't know. I'm going to be honest. But I do know one thing. Donald Trump is not going to... He's not going to move like that, right? Because if he was going to move like that, he wouldn't have even ran for president. Just being honest. Patriot says all left and political swamp, oh my goodness, want Trump locked up because they scare him. They're scared of him exposing the corrupt political party. And Patriot, thank you so much. I appreciate that comment because, we gotta be honest. It's a lot of things. That's why I said we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Easy Peasy says we are getting swarmed by the lefties. Angel says Trump is the law. Child on the Man says I had to drive home, had to stop typing, and I'm listening. Sis, back up. Yay! Shout out to Child on the Man. Shout out to Child on the Man. And also shout out to Angel and Easy Peasy. Janet says, first time seeing you, and I'm loving your show. Shout out to Janet. Thank you so much, Janet. I hope you subscribe to the channel. Hope you liked. Okay? And thank you so much. Child on the Man says hit that like button. Hit that like button. Yes, thank you for that like. Child on the Man says hit that like button and subscribe for future content. It's free and helpful to the content creator to spread the news and updates across the platform. Thank you so much. Yes, likes. Yes, thank you so much. John says, let's go. Trump is the best. Carrie says, love you, President Trump. Thank you for saving our country. Thank you so much, Carrie. Carrie says, lies, lies, lies. Junkyard says, Joe handing out goodies, money to companies and other countries before he leaves. See, this is what I'm talking about, what's been going on. Disability Matters, what a name. Disability Matters says there is no such thing as women's rights. What? In a free and just society, there are rights, not special rights. Ooh, whoa. I get what you were saying, disability. I get what you were saying. And maybe that's the reason Donald Trump had that agenda, has his Agenda 47 out. Okay, we'll talk about it. We'll break that down even more tomorrow. Jenny says subscribe. Thank you so much, Jenny. I appreciate it. Garrett says, fight for freedom, not the government. Elliot says, Puerto Rico for President Trump, Donald Trump. Shout out to Puerto Rico. And shout out to Elliot. Thank you for coming in. I hope you hit that like button. Child on the Man says, Aunt Janet, thank you for joining the family. Thank you for the likes. Appreciate. Garrett says YouTube loves to censor me, and that is why I'm trying to be very careful with my words. Northern Dame, look, that's why I try to be careful with my words. Northern Dame says he went to a boarding school. Ooh. Carrie says, I believe there's far more to the Luigi story than people realize. And I believe it, just like I believe there's more to the story of that 15-year-old in Wisconsin. And thank you guys for coming in. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming in. And there was a lot that I didn't discuss today because I'm going to hold off on it tomorrow. Okay? I do have a tendency, okay, to say too much. Angel says, sleepyhead Joe. Oh no. Diddy, I have a question for you. You went on chat. Diddy, be honest. What you doing in that cell right now? While you listening to me? While you locked up in that cell, Diddy? And to anybody that's just listening, it is actual somebody in the chat named Diddy. Not even being funny. With a Diddy profile pic and a Diddy name, I'm not being funny when I say this. And thank you guys for coming in so much. Thank you for the love. I appreciate it. Today's oh, wait a minute now. Gary says Mayor Johnson got it going on. And someone says love, peace, and freedom with Jesus Christ in the flesh. Bob says, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Remember, you're loved and wanted. God is going all the time. Is good all the time. And thank you, Bob. I needed to hear that. I appreciate that. I'm going to repeat that again. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Yes. Patriot says, Joshua, thank you so much, Patriot. Alinda says, we as a people need to pray. Patriot, question, is that a Bible verse that you wanted me to say? What you have, Joshua verse? Is that an actual Bible verse that you wanted me to say? That's the question I'm asking to you, Patriot. That is my question. And thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate the love. Patriot says, Trump wants America to be America. Thank you guys. I appreciate the love. Oh, Patriot says, yes, ma'am. Northern says, like that. Art of War says, Herba, please undo your last deleted comment. What happened? What happened? Oh, goodness. Patricia says, you up, Grill? What happened? Let me see. Today is our last day. Which one are you talking about? She deleted. I'm not sure. But on that note, thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate the love. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to the Herba Goddess. Shout out to Art of War. Shout out to Patricia. Shout out to Northern Dame. Shout out to Chat on Demand. Shout out to Bob and Lola's Journey. Shout out to Gary. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Easy Peasy. Shout out to Northern Dame. Shout out to Rico. Shout out to Elliot. Shout out to Angel. Shout out to Chat on Demand. Shout out to Diddy. Shout out to everybody that came into this live. I had a phenomenal great time in this live. Thank you so much for coming in. And please, before you leave, hit that like button. Can't wait. Please get 2 more likes before I roll out. 2 more likes, please, and thank you guys for coming in. Please subscribe to the channel as well and shout out to Joy. Thank you, Joy. Shout out to Joy. Thank you, Joy. You do not know how much. I mean, it was the signs. I really believe in that. Affirmations, right? Junkyard. Shout out to Junkyard. Shout out to Carried. Shout out to, I'm reading the comments. I'm going up. Shout out to Aspen. Shout out to Tyler. Shout out to Donald. Shout out to Ivy. Shout out to Rachel. Shout out to Heather. Shout out to House. Shout out to Catholic. Shout out to everybody that has came into this live. Thank you for the like. One more like. Shout out to Jim. Shout out to Gio. Shout out to Beyond Confusing. Beyond Confusing, I hope you hit that like button. Shout out to One Stubborn. Shout out to Sunny. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Matt. Shout out to Holly. Shout out to Snow. Shout out to Howard. Shout out to Jonathan Smith. Shout out to Muscular. Shout out to the Herbal Goddess. Going up. Shout out to Blaze. Shout out. Thank you. Finally. 67. Thank you so much. Shout out to Garbin. Shout out to Carbon. Shout out to Breakthrough. Shout out to Chauncey. Shout out to Ducky. Ooh, it's a lot of names, but I'm going to be a person of my word. I'm reading. Shout out to everybody in the live. Thank you guys for coming in. Shout out to Joshua. Shout out to Norinda. Shout out to Nicholas. Shout out to Norinda from Canada. From India. Shout out to India. Shout out to Oscar. Shout out to Amanda. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to everybody that has came into this live. I'm going up, going up. Shout out to John. Shout out to Seven Olina. Shout out to James. Shout out to everybody that has came into this live. Going up, going up. And I think that's as far as I can go with it. And thank you for the 68 likes. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, guys. And for everybody that came in, this is quote unquote. Woo. Was I able to do it? Politic Graham. And thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate the love so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate the love so much. Yes, 69 likes. Thank you. Thank you. It is muchly appreciated. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I had a great time today. You guys don't know. I normally don't go this long on a live. LRJ says, hey, yo, what's up, guys? Hello. Thank you for coming in. Child the Man says, back tomorrow on another live of great news and updates. Subscribe. Hit the bell so you don't miss out. Yes. 70 likes. 70. Give me 70. Yay. 70 likes. Joy, you put it out there. Thank you so much. And if you guys know, before I always go, I always say words of affirmation. And let's do it. First, always tell yourself, eliminate the ill, focus on present. Second, focus on self, not others. Third, tell yourself, I will learn something new every day. Fourth, say I will not get upset at what I don't have control of. Fifth, advocate for yourself and speak up, because if you don't advocate or speak up for yourself, who will speak up for you? Herbal the Goddess says, have a wonderful day, politic, and so do you, the Herbal Goddess. And shout out to everybody that came into this live, all of you viewers, all of the new subscribers, and last but not least, let's give a big shout out to the Mod Squad. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And always remember, before I go, when I end this live, please comment, write in the comments, what are your views on everything was discussed? Do you believe Donald Trump will provide peace to the world once he becomes president? Okay, officially gets into his position back at the White House next year, January the 20th of next year. Also, do you believe, okay, do you believe that Yes, have a good day, Patriot. Patriot Graham says, have a good day, politic. Yes. Like I said, please put something in the comments. Do you believe that Donald Trump will bring peace back to the world once he gets back into the office officially January the 20th of next year? Okay. If so, let me know. If not, let me know. And please replay this live if you wish. Please. It does also help contribute to the platform. In addition, Art of War says, great show, news lady. Patricia says, evangelicals. Thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate that. Much love. And always remember, have a peace of mind and always be in peace. This is Politic Graham. Bye.